The Zest Fest journey has been remarkable, emotional, profound and life-changing.
Zest Fest is a unique festival because it has a deeper focus.
It's a festival that just never happens, to foreground history in this kind of way, to turn it into something that is so alive.
Here we've got history that was happening on our coast, waking kids' minds up to the fact that they're a part of something much bigger than they ever thought of. It's quite an inspiring thing to do.
It makes me feel like I've achieved something. In the future I could say I was a part of that. That was me in it.
The Zest Festival was a really unique partnership between a university and a community, and it shows the impact that research can have when you take it out of a university and into people's lives.
The Zest Fest is inspired by the shipwreck of the Zuytdorp in 1712 along our coastline, and we wanted to find out about where that ship came from and what the connections were. But the most significant thing is that the Nunda people believe that their ancestors helped shipwreck survivors and became part of their society, which I find a great story to tell.
So at the first meeting where I met Beck Miller, who had come down from Kalbarri, she had noticed there were a number of anniversaries coming up that fell within a 5-year period, and these were anniversaries of shipwrecks that were all related to the Dutch East India Company, and that would make really nice bookends for a festival that helped to celebrate the community there in Kalbarri and the region around it. And that was really an exciting opportunity for us to work as historians and literary scholars and art scholars, thinking about the past all the time in our research in a very academic way, to have the opportunity to work with the community directly and to help tell their stories about their heritage in ways that they wanted those stories told.
The idea for the Zest Festival was that we would use our research into colonial contexts and emotions, and we would develop a program that is sustainable over 5 years by working with the school, working with the artists, working with the community itself. We could really see how our research in history has relevance for community today in regional Australia.
I think being an Australian Research Council Centre of Excellence, which means we have government funding for 7 years, has been really important to the success of this partnership with the Zest Festival, because it's allowed us to have really long-term, sustained relationships with a single community.
And I think having this kind of certainty to build up a long-term relationship, that really allowed us to grow, and that allowed, I think, the community in Kalbarri to grow and to take to it and to make it more and more their own project, really.
Emotions are huge drivers in historical life, and I think it's because history is so much about emotions, driven by emotions, full of emotions and causing emotions.
Well, I think the focus on emotions in history for the Zest Festival has been really vital to its success, because what we were able to do here was go back to the archival records and to trace through the stories of the men, women and children who were on those Dutch East India vessels that shipwrecked, and to actually find out about their emotional experiences. And therefore emotions formed a bridge for the community today to have a sense of how these people felt. And it made their history very relevant, it made it feel very local, it made it their history and their past as well. And I think that was very exciting.
I never had thought of placing emotions and history together. It was a really unique concept to work with, and it gave a great depth to something which could be quite bland.
It brings in a lot of the cultural aspects of it,
as well as the general history, but it brings it all together in such a beautiful way that there's no way you couldn't be intrigued.
The use of the Zest Fest as a tool to work with history in this local region has been awesome. Having the Centre for the History of Emotion providing us with content, it's enabled the students to make comparisons between that history and the time that they're living in. And I think that some of the things, particularly our school students, have been exposed to, it's been awesome.
The incursion opportunities were really important for the students, as a small regional town doesn't get a lot of opportunities for theatre or music or arts. For the students, it was ability to perform before their community and to really get excited about the Zest Festival.
We're really lucky here in Kalbarri to have this calibre of artists with puppeteers and musicians and poets. These people have performed on the international stage and we have exposure to them at the school and as a community. So yeah, we're really blessed.
I think one of the reasons the students have really enjoyed learning the history in the festival is because they've been allowed to be so active and not just listen to other people tell them about it or read about it. The activities have made the history stick, and I think that probably has impressed itself on people without actually them knowing how much they're learning.
I love everything about the Zest Fest. I thought it was really great learning about emotions and history and connecting it all together.
The Zest Fest has been one of the best opportunities for learning all about diversity, culture, history. It's just amazing.
It's just such a great experience. Like, you'll never get another chance to do something like this, so you've got to take hold of it with two hands and just do it.
So the festival provided a lot of great opportunities for people to explore their latent talents. It also allowed for new modes of expression for adults who had been interested in the arts but just didn't have an outlet.
I think the highlight's always the performance and people performing. They helped make the puppets, they actually made the performance. So the town itself and the people that were involved got right into it and they made it happen. You know, just by seeing the performance last night goes to show how much of a community spirit we have here.
I'm in awe of how much community involvement there is and how much heart and soul and how much richness is in this festival. It is truly unique.
For the local Nunda people, the Zest Fest has been an opportunity to share their culture and to also create incredible cultural objects that they can share their stories with the wider community, not only the local community here, but to the hundreds and thousands of visitors that come here.
Going back to these contact histories has provided the opportunity for Nunda people to tell their stories in relation to these contact histories. Stories about meeting the Dutch, looking after the Dutch, were well known for obviously 150, 200 more years in Nunda communities, but not in a wider community. So I think that was a really special experience for Nunda people.
The Zest Festival has been a great opportunity for the Nunda people because it really brought to the fore of our culture and our involvement with the country. Yeah, these people are really taken, you know, the Nunda people and our culture and everything on board. And it's in the song they say that from small things, big things grow, and this has definitely been a very good example of that.
I think what this partnership has shown is that people really are interested in history, can really understand history and tell us about history in lots of ways. That's been a very important thing, and one of our main research aims was to have a broader translation of our work to the community, and we've got that.
This is a unique thing that we've all been involved in. It's going to be quite sad that this is the end of the particular festival, but in the future, who knows? Who knows what can come from it? And that's what I like. I like looking at the next step too.
I'd like to share my gratitude to the Centre for the History of Emotions for their belief, audacity, understanding that this is significant, and all because the Centre for the History of Emotions has recognised that one significant event of a shipwreck could trigger a whole heap of emotions.